You only get one life, so it's important to make the most of it. Is it possible to achieve both happiness and success in life? I've been thinking about this for 20 years. And I know that being busy, busy, busy isn't the answer. So how does life work? There are 10 components that make up a successful life. They all fit together, so if one of the parts is weak, then everything slows down. The objective is to enjoy and achieve as much as you can. Live your maximum life. Now, my other delegating story is something I call the cushion story. And there's a friend of mine, very successful, runs a big company in London. I'm going to call him Toby. And he runs this company that does refurbishing of offices and buildings. And he's got about 90 people working for him. And I was doing a time management course for him. Well, for his managers. He was too busy to come on the course, which is ironic. He works really long hours. Really clever guy, very hard-working, very successful. Works really long hours. And he doesn't really like working the long hours. Anyway, I was doing the time management course, and I thought at lunchtime it'd be quite nice to just catch up. I hadn't seen him for a while. Catch up with Toby, see what's going on. So I went and sat in his office to eat my cheese roll and have a chat. And it was a bit disappointing because I couldn't chat to him. I couldn't get a word in because of the constant stream of people coming into his office to ask him trivial questions. I remember one person came in with these two cushions, slightly different shades of red. I said, "Hey, Toby, which colour should we use for the Vodafone job?" And Toby said, "Oh, I'd go for that one." And he went, "Oh, thanks, Toby," and off he went. Now, as soon as the bloke had left the room, I said to Toby, "You could have delegated that. Because he is, after all, the managing director. Why is he choosing cushion colours?" And Toby said, "Well, yeah, but it only took a minute." And I said, "Yeah, but I know it was only a minute, but it's death by 1,000 cuts because you have hundreds of people coming in every day to ask you these trivial questions." And he said, "Yeah, you're right, I suppose." And I was thinking, why did that bloke bring those cushions in? And I suspect it was probably because a few months before, or a few years before, Toby had told somebody off. What idiot chose that colour of cushion? So from then on it was, always check with Toby first. So he'd made a rod for his back. From that moment on, everything would be brought to him for him to approve. So I suspect it was because of that. And now he's rewarding bad behaviour because every time they come to him, he goes, "I would use that one." So they carry on always bringing him stuff. What he should say is, "Why are you bringing me those cushions? You decide." Or perhaps slightly nicer, he could say, "Well, what do you think?" And if the guy picks the right colour, you can say, "Brilliant, go with that." And if the guy picks the right colour 5 times in a row, Toby could then promote him up to delegate. He could say, "Look, you don't need to bring them to me every time, just do it." So there's really something wrong with it if the managing director is doing all this trivial stuff when he really hasn't got enough time to think about the big important strategy questions, which is what he should be thinking about. And really it goes back to the systems and people, doesn't it? Because either there should be a system where the colour swatch is agreed with the customer at the beginning and then everybody just compares the cushion with the colour swatch, or there should be a person. There should be a person in charge of cushion colour choosing, and it shouldn't be the managing director. So that person probably would do other things apart from just cushions, by the way. But it would be somebody's job, they would have ownership of that, and everybody can go to them and check the colours. So it shouldn't be the MD. Anyway, I said to Toby, "You really shouldn't be doing it." He went, "Yeah, I know, really." And I said, "Well, to know and not do is to not know." At which point he told me to F off, quite rightly. But I was thinking, we all do that, don't we? We all know that we should delegate it, but then we don't. And so I said to him, "I know, why don't I follow you around for a day, and every time there's something that you could have delegated, I could just whisper to you, 'You could have delegated that.' And I could just keep all day saying, 'You could have delegated that, you could have delegated that.' And I'll do that for £800. Do you think he took me up on the offer? No. He said, no. He said, I know what I can do it. But I actually think that would have been money and time well spent to get me in there. Because I reckon with a whole day of me following him, I would have forced him to delegate a lot more. And he would have started to think, actually, this is great. I'm free of all this small stuff. So imagine you've got me on your shoulder, constantly watching what you're doing, going, could you have delegated that? I think you could. And maybe that's a really important thing you could do. You know, tomorrow, watch yourself for the whole day. Even perhaps write on a post-it note, could I delegate this? And hold it in your hand for the whole day. And just try to force yourself. Never again will you decide cushion colours, even though it's easy, even though you're great at it. You've moved on now. You're a manager, you're a leader. You shouldn't be doing trivia like that.
Live your maximum life.